you've now made over $500,000 in commissions, and I know a lot of it came from high ticket
I think it.
affiliate marketing.
Uh-huh.
Right. So how do you feel, or how do you see this kind of play out in your life?
Well, this is just my personal opinion. Okay, I like high ticket. It is because like Eagle, you say that the one sale can pay you more commission, right? So for me, especially, I'm not. I mean, comparing to Eagle as a legend, right? When I first got started, I was a beginner, so I have no control about the traffic, right? So my traffic amount is much less. So I focus on how can I sell one item or promote one item, then I make more money. So that was my initial strategy. That's how I started with high ticket affiliate marketing. So I can make less sales, but still make substantial income by doing that. But yeah, there are
Yeah,
so
what's
many
funny
models out there. Go ahead.
Yeah, what's funny is that you started out with that model, but that's a model that me and a lot of my friends actually ended up going towards after we started out promoting cheap stuff. So you sort of like skipped a step in that evolution, and you went straight to the good stuff where you can make fewer sales and but make a lot more money. Because if you need $10,000 a month to pay your bills, and it only takes 10 sales of $1,000 item to get there, that's going to be much easier to achieve than having to sell 1,100 dollar items or 10,000 of $10 items.
Got
And a lot of people don't realize that. They think that they really do genuinely think that if they discount or lowball the price, they will have more customers. They don't realize that this paradox that it takes just as much effort
exactly.
to make a $500 sale, right, as it does a $97 sale. It takes just as much effort to make a $2,000 sale as it does $1,000 sale.
Exactly.
And this is a concept I've seen play out again and again, and it's still kind of it really boggles my mind in a way because I honestly can't believe how true it is. It's one of those truisms that will never change, in my opinion, because to sell someone, to sort of convert someone
Mm-hmm.
into a sale, the amount of effort that it takes, whether on a small scale or a big scale, is quite literally the same.
Right.
Sure, between $1,000 sale and a $50,000 sale, there might be a little bit more effort required. I mean, but we also get into the territory of financing and really choosing your market, people who can actually afford a purchase like that. But for the most part, it's almost the same effort. And so if you're choosing to sell higher ticket stuff, you will always make more money, even if you work the same amount of hours, or even if you put in the same amount of effort, even less effort than if you were to sell cheap stuff.
I agree with that. I mean, from what I learned throughout my journey, right? I think it just selling like $50 product versus if you are selling a $5,000 product, right? To convert people, the skills are pretty much the same. The working hour pretty much the same. Just you are dealing with different target customers, right? Target customers, people who want to buy $50 may not be the ideal customer who want to spend $5,000 on a product. But people who want to buy $5,000 product, they will not want to buy $50 product. However, regardless of the product price, selling 100 sales a month comparing to if I only need to sell 5 sales per month, right? I would say like Igor, right? Igor's level, you do need to have more skills in order to sell larger amount of sales, like transactions, okay? Because I mean that takes more skills. That's why I like my students, I always want them to start with high ticket, especially if they are beginner. Later, once you have skills, you can always expand.
Yo, it's Igor. I want you to have my Amazon best-selling book for free for taking the time to listen to my podcast and to watch my YouTube videos. Now, I'm not only going to give you this book for free, but I'm going to throw in about $3,200 in free bonuses. Now, if you want to get this book, please click the link in the description, or you can also go to igorsbook.com. And now, back to the podcast. Yeah, I think over time you end up both developing skills as well as developing systems and resources and infrastructure and connections too. Because sometimes it's a matter of just having a matter of having a bigger impact or having more sales comes down to just the ability to get more traffic. But there's many different ways to do it. You can be running ads on a bigger scale, or you
Right.
could be having JV partners on a bigger scale. Like this past year or so, we had an explosive growth thanks to an added element of JV partners, and that was the only change. Like that allowed us to make a lot more sales. Now, fortunately, all the sales are high tickets, so we kind of had a double whammy there, where we had more, and it was still,
Nice, nice,
high ticket. But what's really interesting is, it didn't require me to work longer hours as much as it required me to do different things with my hours.
nice.
So that's another paradox of marketing stuff online is, if you're in the working class, if you're working a day job, or if you've got your own business but it's an offline business, for the most part, to make more, you need to do more.
Mm-hmm.
And that's always been a bottleneck for me personally. Like, I really didn't like the idea that if I wanted to make more money, I had to sacrifice more time with the family, or I had to give up on my hobbies, or I had to sacrifice my health. And it's actually a conversation that comes up all the time. I remember one time I was already making money online, and I went to a friend's house for a birthday party, and so this friend, he had another friend. His name was Dimitri. And so Dimitri was working for Intel at the time, which in Israel, which is where I lived at the time, was a great job. Like, this is like your mom, man, would be
Uh-huh.
so happy for you if you worked at Intel and you lived in Israel, because you'd have a company car, you'd have a company smartphone, you'd be flying to the States, twice a year.
Right.
You'd have health insurance, dental insurance, everything insurance. You'd be set,
Right.
right? That was what we call set for life.
Right.
And so, we started talking because me and this buddy of mine, we were self-employed, and this Dimitri guy, he was like working for Intel, and he blurted that. Like, we started talking, and he says something that I think is so stupid to say. He says, "I would rather be healthy or happy than rich.
Mm.
I would rather be happy than rich, or I would rather be healthy than rich." And to me, I was like, I'm hearing this out, and I'm like, why do you think you have to choose?
Yeah.
Honestly, like, why? Who told you that you had to sacrifice one for the other? And it's only thanks to the internet and this industry, really, that I got exposed to people who not only are rich, but they're really satisfied in life. They pursue different hobbies, and their awareness level, and their relationship, and their health. It's actually thanks to making a lot of money that they are able to invest time and money and energy into health, but especially into, like, whatever they feel most passionate about.
Yeah.
So for me, um it was really a matter of, like, when I anytime I wanted to scale my income, it was always a matter of doing different versus doing more. But there was a time, I will admit, that when I thought that to make more you need to do more,
Mm-hmm.
and it created this conflict, where it created a conflict between my identity of a provider and my identity of a father,
Uh-huh.
or father slash husband,
Uh-huh.
where they clashed. Like, where the provider wanted to make more, but father slash husband wanted to spend time with the family and felt guilty that he couldn't spend time with the family. And so the identities clashed, and I ended up getting really, really stuck. It took me a couple of years to get out of that groove.
I see. I see. Yeah. That was the. I would say that was the. I heard a lot of people talking about it, especially in the working class. Right, money cannot buy happiness. But after me myself become an entrepreneur, after I've seen so many successful people in the industry, successful people they want both. They want happy. They want fulfillment. They also want to be rich. Okay, so you can actually have both.
Yeah, and I believe you do need money to be happy.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
You can be happy without money,
Right.
but it's harder. It's so much harder, and I think anyone who just disqualifies money as a tool to build a better life is either horribly misled, or is just plain dumb. Because to ignore the fact that everything costs money,
Oh yeah.
um, is just silly. Like it's just is truly, truly silly. Now, this doesn't disqualify the idea that the best things in life are free. I do believe that. You know, relationships, they're free. Health can be free if you take care of yourself. Um, like a lot of things in life that make you happy could be free. But let me tell you, it's really hard to maintain a healthy relationship or to maintain relationships in general if you're just hustling trying not to fall behind on your bills,
Right.
if you're constantly stressed out, if you've got a drinking problem, if
Right.
you're fighting with your spouse over money.
Right.
Like I grew up, so I had two immigrations in my lifetime, one from Ukraine to Israel where I was a kid, and one from Israel to Canada when I was an adult,
Uh-huh.
after I started making a lot of money online. And so these were two different, very different experiences where as a kid, I watched my parents when they moved to Israel constantly fight over money
Mm-hmm.
all the time. And then I looked up a statistic when I grew up, and turns out that about 70% of immigrant marriages fall apart within 5 years of immigration
Mm-hmm.
because of money. Now, my experience moving from Israel to Canada, totally different. So I come in, I'm loaded. Okay. I, I put half a mil in the bank.
Uh-huh.
I get like a small credit card, so building my credit score. I rent a nice place. My kids go to, at the time, just I had one kid, so Erica goes to a nice private school. So I immediately settle on a level, like as far as quality of life wise, that most people here strive towards for like 40 years,
Mm-hmm.
and the experience is totally different.
Right.
I'm still able to travel. I'm still able to like have nice things and spend time with my family. So it does become, so immigration becomes like a bit of a game where you're now discovering new things, you're meeting new people, you're
Yep.
trying to understand how the system works. Not to say it wasn't stressful, but it was nowhere near as stressful as what my parents had to go through.
Right, definitely, definitely. I still remember when I was broke, right? I cannot give the stuff I want to give to my family. When my wife went to supermarket, we constantly compare the price, right? I want to buy a noodle. This one is 50 cents cheaper. We have to buy this brand. Right now, just buy the best food in town. Buy everything organic for my family, for my kids. Totally different lifestyle.
Yeah, and I hear it's really expensive to eat well in America,
Yeah.
to eat healthy.
Yeah,
Yeah?
yeah, uh-huh. No, well, not hugely expensive, but if you are living paycheck to paycheck, right? There are just so much things that you you can tap into, but you just don't have the opportunity, or you can afford it.
Right. I remember watching a documentary, and yeah, I think it was about sugar or diabetes or something. They were showing this family,
Mm-hmm.
working class family, both mom and dad work, and they're always going to a fast food joint like Burger King or something for lunch.
Right.
And so the person who's shooting the film, they're asked, "So why do you do that? You know it's bad for you. You have diabetes, and you know you can't. You know you shouldn't be eating that." To which the guy says, he says, "Yeah, but I can buy a whole meal for $3,
Yep.
or I go to the supermarket and I can buy one tomato or one tomato and one potato for $3 or something."
Right.
Like it actually puts things into perspective as far as why people choose to eat junk food versus trying to stay healthy. And again, it comes down to, are they able to afford it?
Yeah, sometimes that's unfortunate. Okay, so if I put myself, if any people around me, right, they had to go through the situation, the financial hole I have been through, I'm gonna do everything I could to encourage them, push them to start with affiliate marketing. Okay, this is the best business model that can potentially change your life.